Hello viewers, it's my pleasure to welcome you to another edition of AAU Talks on your #1 television for higher education in Africa, AAU TV. The station with content tailored to suit and address issues and challenges facing our higher institutions or in the African continent. The AAU TV as an organization seeks to address these issues by organizing programs such as workshops, trainings, seminars, and initiatives. My name is Eyoa Ekuya. Such initiatives are MADEV. With me in the studio today is Mrs. Adeline Adi. She is the MNE officer and a project officer for MADEV. She's here to help us know more about MADEV. What is MADEV? What's the objective of MADEV? How does MADEV serve as a change agent in our universities? Please join me as we welcome Mrs. Adi. Good morning, madam.
Good morning.
Welcome. It's my pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll be looking at MADEV. What is MADEV?
MADEV stands for Management Development.
Okay.
And it's the acronym we use for the AAU's initiative, which is called Management Development Training Workshops. Okay. It's a series of workshops we hold.
Okay.
The MADEV is intended to build capacity or build skills, management and leadership skills among university managers. But it targets a particular group of managers, middle-level managers. So we are talking heads of departments, deans of faculties, registrars, bearers, librarians, head librarians also, and registrars, anyone who is interested. I mean, so long as maybe you aspire to occupy any of those positions, the MADEV is for you.
Wow, okay. So how long has this MADEV management development been running, and do you have pioneer leaders?
Well, the MADEV has been running since we had our first workshop in 2009.
Oh, okay.
But the idea for MADEV came up in 2003.
Okay.
Prior to that, we had another program we called the SUMA.
SUMA, okay.
Which was a senior university managers workshops. It had similar objectives as the MADEV. But then the SUMA was catering for both leadership and management. That is VCs and the like, and then the middle level managers. Okay, so in 2003, there was a review of the SUMA program. And then we had a number of major stakeholders from higher education and other areas. And it was agreed that there was some distinction between the two groups with regard to their training needs. And so it was agreed to separate the groups. And so we came up with leadership development, which is LEDEV, and then management development. So the idea was in 2003, the rollout started in 2009, and since then we've held 8 workshops.
Wow, 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 that's nice. So the LEDEV, is it still running?
The LEDEV is still running.
Okay.
Yes.
But you are not involved in that?
No, I'm not involved in the LEDEV. It's handled by another officer.
Okay.
Yes.
What informed the AAU's decision to start up this novel workshop?
Before I address that, you had previously asked if we had some pioneers. I'm happy to say that our own Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman was an alumnus of the first workshop, which was held at GIMPA in Accra, Ghana. And she later became a VC of the University of Cape Coast, and then went on to become the Minister for Education. She was a woman too.
A woman,
you know. Gender is important.
It's very important, and we are doing well, I must say.
Yes. And then we have another gentleman in the person of Professor Jude Sebuwufu from the Uganda Martyrs University, who also rose to the rank of a dean after the workshop. We also have the immediate past VC of the University of Kwame Nkrumah. Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. Yes. He was also
an alumnus.
Yes, he's also an alumnus of the MADEV workshops.
So when you say these people you mentioned, they are alumni. So
Yes.
does it mean they are not part of the workshop group, or I don't really get
The workshop, each edition of the workshop will train a particular group of participants.
Okay.
We don't call them back for the next training.
Yeah, all right.
Because we want to reach as many people as possible. And the idea is to kind of train so that they also can share the knowledge acquired.
Yeah.
So it's a kind of training of trainers.
Trainers, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So for each edition, we have a new group of participants.
Oh, okay. All right. In case you're just tuned in, this is AAU Talks on AAU TV. With me is Mrs. Adeline Ade. She is the MADEV project officer. She has told us what MADEV means, which is management development, and she's told us how it started, how the alumni members so far. And in case you want to join in the conversation, you can join our Facebook page on Association of African Universities, or follow our Twitter handle on AAU_67. Let's go back to our discussion. Madam, so far, how has been the impact of MADEV on our institutions?
I think that we can measure the impact by the kind of response we get from our membership, and even people from institutions that are not AAU members. Okay. We always have many people wanting to attend the MADEV workshop. We address issues that are relevant. For each MADEV workshop, we ask participants what are the particular areas they would want us to focus on.
Okay, okay.
We would normally suggest a broad theme, and then ask them to zero in on specifics under that general theme. Okay. Yes, so the MADEV is very relevant.
Okay. Definitely, with such an idea, I know anything that's good or that tries to impact change must go through hurdles and challenges. Can you give us some of your challenges you face as the project officer?
Well, currently, when the MADEV started, we had funding. And so participants' cost was covered, completely, totally covered. With time, as you know, I mean, the economy of each country is changing. Things are getting a bit more
tight, inflation, and all that.
So now we do not have that much funding, and so participants have to cover their own cost.
I see.
And that has been a bit of a challenge because some of our universities, as you know, are not very well endowed, and I can imagine they may not be able to cover the cost for many participants. So you may just be able to cover cost for 2 or 3 participants.
I see.
Yes.
So we are using this opportunity to call for funding of this very novel project.
Alternatively, I would like to make a call to our vice chancellors, the vice chancellors of AAU member institutions especially, to let them know that this is a training that is very relevant and would help to build or strengthen the skills of their officers. The leadership of our universities need the support of the middle level managers. So I would encourage our VCs, when they see the call for participation, to sponsor 2, 3, 5 staff to attend the training. And I'm happy to say that when we have a group application, there is some discount.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. I guess for your next workshop, we will see an improvement.
I'm sure.
Because it would favor the universities, you know. You are helping them train the middle staff so that all the load won't be at the top level. It would be able to spread to the middle level. Okay, as an M&E officer here at the AAU, are you able to, so far the projects you've had, have you been able to monitor and evaluate your own projects?
As you know, for some of the projects we have in-house, or some of the activities, including the MADEV that we have in-house, form part of projects.
Yes.
And project comes with funding from a particular partner.
Yeah.
And the partner has, or the partners have their own monitoring and evaluation requirements.
Okay, okay.
So for the MADEV, yes, as with any other project or any other activity at the AAU, we do monitor and evaluate.
Okay.
The MADEV formed part of activities under what we call the AAU CADA project, which was being funded by the African Capacity Building Foundation,
Okay.
which is headquartered in Harare, Zimbabwe. So as part of the funding, we had to have a midterm review. We've had 2 phases of the project, and we've had each time to have a midterm review as well as a project end review. In between,
Okay.
we do the daily, day-to-day monitoring and
Okay.
evaluating of the
Evaluation.
project.
Okay.
And then again, as at any workshop we have an evaluation. For the MADEV, we have the culture of evaluating each day's
Okay.
training.
Okay.
So each day is evaluated, where we look at the content that was provided, we look at the facilitator, whether he was able to deliver, and then we look at the relevance of what was done.
Okay.
Yes, and we even evaluate the group work that is done, because at MADEV, it's not just a classroom situation. You have a lot of interaction, you have group work, where the participants are split into groups,
okay.
and then they work on a particular issue that is relevant to what we are doing,
okay.
and then they come up with their reports.
Okay. You raised the challenge of funding. Is there, has the AAU been able to, or what is the AAU doing in trying to get more funds from our stakeholders?
Well, AAU is in consultation with many, excuse me, many funding partners.
Okay.
But as you know, your objectives or aims should align with that
Definitely.
of the funding partner.
That's true.
And the AAU turned 50 last year. And we think it's time we stood on our own feet.
Okay.
And so we want to have these self-financing workshops.
Okay. Yeah.
Where the participants pay. When AAU is able, we will subsidize in one way or the other.
Okay.
But we need to stand on our own feet. But you can be very sure that we have proposals out there that have been submitted to major partners, and we are waiting for their response.
Okay. Also, when these workshops are completed, are you able to go around the institutions or contact them to do a form of follow-ups if they've started implementing these issues or these things you raised in the different workshops?
We do some follow-up.
Okay.
Which I would classify as a bit informal.
All right.
But I'm happy you brought this up, because you know, middle-level managers do not really take the tough decisions.
Yeah.
Which is why I personally would be happy for a forum where both the leaders and the managers are able to meet.
Yeah.
Because you can learn all kinds of skills. There are some skills that you can employ without the support of the leadership. But then when it comes to making sure that this trickles down to other levels of staff, you may need the leadership to step in.
That is true.
Yes. Going forward, our intention is to publish summaries of what has been done in each workshop.
Okay.
Disseminate this to the VCs so that they are aware. This is what your staff who came for this workshop learned.
Okay.
Even if you didn't have anyone representing your university, but these are the issues.
All right.
And then would engage them and see how these can be taken forward in their respective institutions.
Okay. Viewers, in case you just joined us, this is AAU Talks on AAU TV. And with me is Mrs. Adeline Ade. We've been talking about MADEV, Management Development, how it came about, the challenges and hurdles, and which a major challenge is funding. And also we've looked at other issues of how to continue the project. You can join us on Facebook at Association of African Universities, and you can also follow us on our Twitter handle at AAU_67. We'll be wrapping up now, but before then, I want to give Mrs. Adi the opportunity to advertise a next workshop. So the floor is yours.
Well, viewers, I'm glad you're watching. We have a workshop coming up, a MADEV workshop coming up from the 24th to the 28th of June this year. It will be held in Nairobi, Kenya, an interesting, very nice location. And for this edition of the MADEV, we'll be looking at issues to do with staff retention, staff development, staff recruitment. As you are aware, we have challenges with staffing in our universities all over the continent. It's either we do not have enough staff, or the very few staff we have keep leaving because there's competition between the universities and the private sector. And the private sector offers more. But I believe that if we are going to be able to compete with the universities worldwide, we need to have adequate staff. So these are very important issues we need to look at how we address them, learn from examples of what is being done elsewhere. So you are invited, and I want to note that the AAU workshops are not only for AAU member institutions.
Okay.
Anyone who is interested can attend.
That's good.
So you are all invited, and I hope to see you in Nairobi, Kenya, come June. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Mrs. Adi, for just giving us a little time from your tight schedule to come and talk more about management development. Viewers, it's been AAU Talks, and we've been looking at management development. Every university, every institution, whether be it an AAU member or a non-AAU member, needs management and needs to know the skills involved in management development. And we are using this opportunity to invite you to the MADEV workshop. You want to know more about staff retention, you want to know more about staff development, join us in Kenya, Nairobi. Till I come your way next time, it's been Ikuya Iyoa. Bye.